Hey everybody, this is Al with El Rey Collection. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. I'm going to have some fun here and try to talk about what I think is going to happen in the wonderful market that we call soccer cards and stickers. So without further ado, I got to, get out your magnifying glass and please freeze the video and read this carefully. Look at this is all just for discussion. It's for fun. I'm a registered investment advisor during my day. So none of the things that I say here are intended to be investment advice. I may use words like may, will, should, expect, anticipate, target. Look at all of this. It has no bearing on recommendations of what I think you should do with your money. So, please be careful. You should never be spending your rent money on soccer cards. This should be an enjoyable hobby. And if you look to this space to make investments, do so on your own. And please never use money that you'll need for other things. So if you would like to read this in more detail, you can certainly do so by putting pause and getting out your magnifying glass. Sorry. Okay, so now that part's done, of course, this is meant to be fun. I'd love to hear your comments. I don't expect to be right about everything. If you saw my 2023 video, you knew that I'd certainly missed some things. I'll try to let you know if I own any of the cards, but the reality is most of the scans here are things that I own anyway. And if I had a crystal ball, I'd be retired. I've said that many times, and I'm not retired, so therefore not right all the time. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump into it. We got 12 different things that we're going to look at. I tried to add some color to the background. Let me know if you like that as well. This kind of fruit salad coloring I got going on. But last year I predicted that a new pre-war soccer card, meaning something that hadn't previously sold for 10K was going to sell for 10K. And I was wrong. We were shut out. I truly believe that the right card coming along at the right time, we're going to see some decent numbers. And I actually think that we're going to see this as early as a couple weeks from now when this Arthur Wharton Bane Shield, which actually isn't a Bane Shield, but is a copy of a Bane Shield, a contemporary copy from also the 1880s from J. Briggs, is going to sell here in a couple weeks. And I think that will likely make this already a foregone conclusion that we'll have the next 10K plus item. But the reality is, do we really know? No, it could sell for less than that. And some of these other cards, may not make it to market. Some other ones, I continue to think that a high grade Greeling Sindelar, that a great J.M. Moreno or a Dixie Dean rookie could do it, as could any number of other Bane Shields. I put a Meredith Bane Shield up here as well. So anyway, I believe that one of these cards or something else will show up and could be interesting enough to drive the market forward and see a 10K soccer card, pre-war soccer card, which would be a pretty big deal for vintage soccer. The next thing, and I hate to call bottoms in markets, but I think that we'll hit bottom in the Messi market. We may already be there right now as of January 1. The last PWCC auctions, which technically ended on New Year's Eve, had some of these Mega Cracks 9s, the more common ones, the Campeon, in a PSA 9 for less than $100,000. Yes, there are hundreds and hundreds of these cards, but there aren't hundreds and hundreds of 9s, and it's still a very tough grade of these. And I just believe that history is going to look favorably on Messi. So if you're in for the long haul, could it go down another 10, 15, 20, 30, 50%? Sure, it could. But I believe that if you're in for the long haul, we'll likely see growth from these levels that we're marking at the end of 2023 and into 2024. And I do think that the gap between CR7 and Messi will be somewhere in this 2x to 4x, as Messi has clearly differentiated himself as a step up on CR7 for the totality of the career and career accomplishments. I just saw on this also this last PWCC auction where one of the galactic inserts, the difference was only 20 to 30%, maybe it was 30% between a CR7 and a Messi. And I think those are going to be anomalies. I think most of them are going to be, you can get the Ronaldo in a similar card, similar grade for about half or less of what you're getting the Messi. So great time, I honestly think, to if Messi rookies are on your to collect items, to think about collecting in 2024, because I think that time will show that those entry points will be seen as attractive. 2023 had a big bumper, Messi performance in the first quarter, and it kind of, wavered. Depends on the card, depends on the grade, but generally wavered, stabilized at a little bit lower levels. And I just feel like we've had this little downtick here, certainly in the last couple months of the year. And I think that these are great, price points to be thinking about getting into to Messi cards if you're not already. The number 3 item is, I believe PSA will resume grading the Messi sticker. There's almost 771 BIS Mega Crack rookies, and there's only 150 stickers. I've always seen the sticker as the second most important Messi card / sticker, more important than any of the other Mega Cracks or the Mundi Chromo. And this particular sticker is just beautiful. Personally, I think it's awesome. I love the layout. Obviously, PSA stopped grading these. I think the rumors was they had to pay out on the PSA 10 at like a golden auction, which went for more than 100,000. So they froze this until they got control of it. I've personally been working with PSA. I've sent them more than 300 cards that were acquired over, well before we've seen many fakes of this, so they can scan and probably use those matched together with an AI technology. Particularly this sticker has a couple different versions when you actually zoom in. So hopefully they'll get a handle on this. Like most pre-modern stickers right now, I prefer only to buy PSA slabs because of the guarantee. And I just think they do a better job of weeding out fakes. And they continue to show me they're committed to really avoiding grading fake stickers. And I'm imagining that they talk with law enforcement and try to get people in to help clean up the hobby. We really need this sticker, in my opinion, to get graded. I think it's a key sticker for the market, and something that really offers an alternative to 71 BIS in terms of an elite Messi collectible. So I'm personally really invested in getting the hobby clean, providing any information that any grading company needs, so that we can do a better job of keeping fakes out and really, make this hobby a pleasant, safe, fun place to be, instead of constantly worrying about whether a fake gets into, the population. But I expect the PSA will have the confidence to start grading the sticker again going forward. I also think, and as my number 4, we will not see a 250K soccer card sale in 2024. And a couple years ago, we had that 1.3 million and a 900K on the PSA 9 Alifas. I think we're going to start to see, and last year we topped out at 260K, is it, with Messi PSA 10, 71 BIS. I think we're going to struggle to see the 250. Yeah, it's potential we see another 71 BIS PSA 10 and or some of the elite, Pele, like an Alifa 9 or, one of the 57s. I just feel like there's not a real compelling reason to see these cards at market for people to put them out there and quote unquote take the risk of a sale. So I just don't think, not that there aren't cards in the soccer market that are still worth this amount. It's just that I think that we won't see the owners of those cards, and I'll speak for myself, I would never be auctioning off those types of cards in this market. And I'm imagining a lot of the holders of those cards would be in a similar boat. So, will we see a super elite card? Always possible. if one comes to market that could blow this number away, but I just don't think we're going to end up seeing it in 2024. So I think we'll see all sub 250, and similar um, to 2023, there won't be a lot of vintage that sells north of 100,000 just in general. If you saw in my 2023 review video, you'll see I've tracked most of the sales of items that were more than 50,000 for 2023, and most of them are modern cards, and obviously in 2023, most related to the one of ones from the World Cup, Messi cards. So I don't think we'll see that. Of course, would I love if I'm wrong here? Absolutely. I think any buzz for the soccer card market is great, and something that I would welcome. I just don't see why we would see that in 2024. So moving on here, my number 5 is I think that we're going to continue to see the year of the collector, just like we saw in 2023. I think it's very much a continuation of this. I think it's a great time to chase down things on your want list. Many items, not all, but many items are at pre-pandemic pricing. So go check those out. Maybe they're second tier names, like not even that I'd call like a Piola a second tier name, but Balanciere. You've got Fritz Cespan here. I've got an Alex James. I mean, maybe this second tier. It's just such a great place. PWCC has so many auctions, and to a lesser extent, but eBay has many auctions. Even Golden has some auctions, not super strong in vintage, but that of really nice cards that are collector grade cards that are going for incredibly reasonable prices. So I think it's a great time to be a collector. Don't stretch on things unless they're really rare or really important to you. Be patient. You have time to chase down the stuff that's on your want list, and many things, again, at pre-pandemic pricing. So I think the year of the collector continues. I think it's tough time to be a flipper. And you know what? I like it when we don't have a lot of flippers in our market, a lot of collectors helping one another, driving for their personal collecting goals. I think is super healthy for the hobby. Number 6, I was totally wrong on this in 2023. I thought we'd hit 1,200 members. We ended the year in our Vintage Soccer Discord at 925 members. So I have to temper my growth expectations for 2024. No huge catalyst driving people to collect soccer cards besides just the continued popularity of the sport globally. People learning more. I think we're going to have some organic growth, but it's going to be more along the 10% range as it is, as opposed to the exponential growth that we had kind of seen over the last few years. So expecting 1,000, nice round number. Hope that we get there. I provided the link. If you're not a member of the Discord, it's absolutely free. Please join. You can be a fly on the wall. You can participate, an active participant. Regardless, you can learn a lot, and it's a nice place to exchange lots of information. So I've joined the Vintage Soccer Cards Discord, and learn a lot about the hobby. By the way, I'm going to take a moment, and I'll just do this one here right now. I believe that CSG or CGC, what they're calling themselves now, is going to continue to put pressure on PSA. They've already done so with the TCG market, where they have pricing that goes down into the single digits for their highest tier members, as opposed to PSA, which is at $15, and occasionally, like right now, will run discounts down to $14. But I think we're going to see PSA kind of hover at the $15, rock bottom price. They may go a little bit below that, but I think that's what we're going to see in 2024. They're still getting plenty of cards, $1 million more or less a month. So, they can sustain that price, it appears. So there's no real incentive for them to decrease until those numbers drop significantly. If they're getting 500,000-600,000, they may have to rethink exactly their cost structure and how they do things. But for now, I feel like their list price at 25, their bulk price at 19, and the occasional subcategory at 15 has been working for them. So there's no reason for them to move off of this strategy. I thought they would have been in a worse place faster, but obviously there's a ton of pent up demand still at the $15 range for a PSA holder. I think you're going to see SGC and CSG buckle that down a notch, so they'll be in the low tens. You may even see some single digit pricing from them on certain things, and that's going to be good generally for collectors. Not great for their finances, so you may have some layoffs, you may have some restructuring charges, but I think they'll try to make that up, as we'll see in other ways. Beckett is a wild card. I have no idea what those guys are doing. I'm imagining they're going to have to follow suit and decrease their prices. I think if you're looking for cheap, good, fast rating, probably it's a CSG or CGC and an SGC type of year. If you're looking for, maintaining, value, it's probably the PSA, and they're trying to extract that value there, especially also if you want to use the registry. The PSA registry is much more in depth than the CSG one. And SGC unfortunately discontinued theirs and doesn't appear to want to be getting back into the registry type business. Anyway, so that's what I expect. So expect some decreases in pricing, but not nearly as much or as fast as you would have expected. And the ones that will move faster and be cheaper, I'm guessing, are going to be CSG and SGC. PSAs, I just think, too rock solid, and they offer too much, and they have the guarantee that maybe it's worth for certain cards to pay a little extra and get that PSA slab. Okay, so and by the way, if you like my content, I would love if you could like the video, and if you could subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Really appreciate it. Helps me continue to be motivated to do these types of videos. And if you have any comments about your thoughts, I'd love to hear them, please, in the comment section of the video. So number 8 is at least 2 new rookies will be found. I had in 2023, I thought we'd find 3. We ended up with 0, at least to my knowledge. So because there are no earth-shadowing rookies, I got to put it back out there. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the pre-modern side, like this Modric and Benzema ones that we found over the last couple of years. If it would be, a South American star. I have Leonidas here, but it could be any number of Argentine guys. We could have a Yashin. Although most Russians are team items, not focused on the individual. So we may never find one, but there's always been one out there where you're like, God, there's got to be a Yashin. So we don't know where they're going to come from. One of the things I love about the soccer card market is that we never know where things are going to come from. And things come out and it's exciting. Even if you own the item that was supplanted as a rookie or a key item, it's something else to put on the list. It's why this segment of collecting is so fun, so challenging, and so enjoyable. And personally, I love to find new rookies, whether I'm the one that found them or somebody else's, just because it adds to the excitement. And there's always this little archaeology, gold digging, trophy hunting type component to the soccer card hobby that doesn't exist, for instance, in baseball or American football. That just doesn't exist. So it's super exciting. Hopefully we'll find 2 new ones. I have my fingers crossed. As a collector, as a historian, I would love to see some of this stuff be found. Number 9 on the list now is, we'll have a the stabilized pop pre-modern cards will hit bottom. Again, I hate to call bottoms. I believe, though, that there's just such a compelling case for so many pre-modern stickers, especially in, high grades, basically, 7s, 8, 9, 10s. These are super hard stickers. So many of these, particularly headshots, whether it's a Lewa or a KDB or Iniesta, the pops are still less than 200, and they did grow a lot, but they've really slowed. These are hard stickers. Remember, a lot of them are regional. Most of them are stuck into albums. I just have got to believe that continued interest, the demographics, and after the terrible 2022 and 2023 results, coupled with stabilization of the populations, those together with even just a small incremental demand needs to push these cards forward. Again, if these key pre-modern stickers and the Messi market don't do well, it's hard for me to get excited about the soccer market at all. These key cards and stickers have really shown that they're hard to get in in high grade and even just hard to get generally. I think this Lewa and the KDB and the Iniesta only have a couple hundred of these done. I think the Zidane has like 125. This is a 1991 sticker of one of the most important you know soccer figures of the last 30 years, and there's not even 200 graded, despite the boom. So I just think, and then especially in higher grades, I just think such a compelling value case here. Imagine if one key basketball player or baseball player had one or two main rookies and they were numbered to 200. Well, that's essentially where we are on a lot of these pre-modern stickers, and it's just hard to see them wallowing down here in the few $100 range for clearly elite players, generational players that are really hard to get in good grades. So, I hate to call no investment advice, but I hate to call a bottom in any market. But this just feels to me like, man, the fundamentals are just, if you believe in soccer card sticker and card collecting, you almost have to start believing in a lot of these key pre-modern stickers, which, by the way, not all of the pre-modern stickers, this isn't like every pre-modern sticker has this profile. No, you're gonna have to do a little bit of research, do a little bit of digging. Like if you were to tell me like the Benzema foot, there's just that pop has ballooned, and frankly, I'm a little concerned about how and why, but that's one that I would stay away from right now. But there are other ones that just hit this profile where you're like, what? So anyway, I believe that we're pretty close to bottom, and I just think that we would expect moves up now. And if it's not now, the entry point now will likely be a good one over time. That's my guess. No investment advice. Do your own research. But I certainly think the stabilized pop pre-modern stickers and cards are looking good to me right now. Oops, yeah. So I was just figuring out which way I was going here. And then I do believe, like I talked about the grading pricing going down, and I do believe that we're going to see vault pricing go up. And one of the best values right now in the entire collecting thing is the $1 per item PSA/CU/golden vault returns is crazy. There's such a compelling value proposition for vaults, especially in the U.S. where we pay sales tax, and you can effectively avoid sales tax by shipping to a state that doesn't have sales tax, leaving it there for a period of time, and then ultimately, if you want to bring that back to your house, you no longer need the economic transaction had taken place. You no longer need to pay tax for the importation of your item. So, you can effectively, for some states, save more than 10% of the value of an item. You send it to a vault and have it sit there. And then if you want to have it, whatever period of time, take it back in a year or two and you basically avoided sales tax for that period of time, and you had to pay either $1 per item at CU or 1% of the value at PWCC. So there's just such a value creation opportunity that's mostly leaning in favor of the customer. And the customer, why have they done this? Well, they want to get a critical mass in their marketplaces and in their vaults, which totally makes sense because they can transact between them. And then whenever they think they have that critical mass, they can change their pricing mechanisms and extract value from all the transactions happening within the vault between people, take commissions, make it easy to sell. So all of these reasons is why they've been trying to get items in their vaults. And I think PWCC has about 800,000 items, a little less, I think, last time I checked. And PSA just announced on their website they had 444. So PWCC continues to be the leader in the vault. eBay, I think, at least from my conversation of people in the hobby, is very, very tertiary at this point. And the fact that eBay, even in spite of them trying to get volume, just announced that they're going to increase their fees. It just feels to me like it gives the perfect opportunity for PWCC and Golden PSACU, whatever you want to call it, to increase their prices. And together with pressure in other parts of their business on the commission side, or in PSA's case, on the grading side, pushing some pricing down, they may try to offset that with increasing fees at the vault. Certainly $1 an item at PSA Vault, best value in the hobby, and even the 1% of PWCC is really a huge value as well to my eyes. Just keep in mind one little aside on the PWCC returns. They'll assess their own value regardless of what you paid for an item. And sometimes that'll work to your advantage or disadvantage. So just make sure you check the PWCC value before you extract. If it's too high, you may be paying more of a commission than you need to. You can get in touch with your rep and tell them why you think it's too high. And if it's too low, you can extract it for even less than what is technically that 1%. So just be cognizant on that PWC value. It doesn't necessarily matter what you paid for an item, but you can definitely look for arbitrage in your own accounts. Personally, because of this risk, I'm asking for more and more items back to me to be shipped to me, and because of that, because I really do assess this as a legitimate risk that could cost me a lot of money if I leave things there, and especially things that I don't ever really intend to sell. I'm bringing those things home for fear of vault prices creeping up, which was number 10. Number 11 on the 2024 things is I think we're going to see some slab corrections, and we're going to have more sets. When I say will happen, will be graded. That typically have to take time and research. I think all the grading companies have made significant strides in the last few years grading soccer. I would expect them to continue. Probably the biggest news with respect to this would be the Queagle. I've got to assume they start grading this 5960 or 60, which, while still in maybe the rookie constellation, certainly pulls it out of that 58, which still attaches the rookie moniker to it. I think if you didn't know this wasn't a 58, and you've been collecting soccer, your head has been in the sand for most of the last few years. We've been screaming this from the mountains. I have a number of Queagles. I love it. I still think it's one of the most beautiful soccer stickers out there in terms of design. At one point, it was the preferred rookie until myself and other collectors were looking at other players in the set and came to the conclusion it couldn't be 58. In the best case, it was 59, and more likely 59, 60 or 60. So, we've known this for years. We've been telling people. I think that's part of the reason why the sticker has suffered. But the reality is, the slabs still have 58, 59 on them. And I really think that's going to change at some point. Other things that could change are ones with wide ranges. I put this Olympiad chewing gum Just Fontaine on there because it has 58 to 62. We may get more information that hones things in. You can see this Card Master over here. Beautiful card. One of my favorite cards in my collection. And I actually think this is 1959. Do I think they're going to change this? No, but I'm just throwing it out there as some of the things that go on in the hobby. There's a number of people discussing whether the 58 Aquarella should be 58, 59, especially for the blue number, where there is the vast majority in 58, but some in 1959 albums, and the black should just be 58. I doubt PSA is going to make this change. I don't even really think that it's necessary because 98% of them are 58s anyway. And if it was a 58, 59, like we saw in the Queagle, I don't think it would move the market. But people are beating this drum, and if they did make that change, I'd be also completely fine with it. I don't really care one way or another. I think we're going to start to see a lot, or continue to see a lot of other sets being graded, which is great. It's the lifeblood of the hobby. Here we've got Angel Laguna 5x1 that I got graded last year. Super excited to get those things done, and I'd love to see them use the C circa date for things that they're not 100% sure of, but they're sure are authentic, and start to put those in holders. Regardless, I think it's the lifeblood of the hobby is to get things graded, especially here in the US, authenticated, and just all the diversity of soccer cards is just great. Looking so excited to the continued growth of the base of the business. CSG continues to grade lots of different things as well, and SGC has made inroads as well. So I think across the hobby we're seeing lots of things being graded, and I think we're going to see some things um, you know continue to balloon some of the sets that we have out there, which I think is great. Just an aside, I don't think the PSA guarantee covers misdated items. So if you're a holder of a Queagle and you are nervous about a date change, what that could mean, again, I think most serious collectors already know that this isn't a 1958. But if you're worried about that, then you may want to move on a specific card. Okay, number 12, which is really, really always on my list, is the El Rey collection. We'll add 2 items. Last year I got the Socrates rookie and I upgraded it, and I got a Di Stefano crack, which is still in the album. And I think I always want to get 2 things. It's just as exciting getting the things as finding the next 2 that go on my top 10 most wanted list. You never know what's going to happen. Always random, but I always have this goal to set out. Hope you have your collecting goals, and I really, really hope that that I'm able to tick another couple boxes off in 2024. So to review, oops, sorry guys. To review my 2024 protections, I won't read them out, but I think I'm kind of calling bottom in a couple markets. I'm kind of saying that there's going to be some pressure on pricing for grading, but not maybe as much as we hoped. I think some people are hoping, hey, when's the $10 per card pricing coming with PSA? I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think we'll see any mega sales actually in the soccer space. I do think we will get some slow growth in the collecting base, as just generally the demographics of international interest, U.S. interest, the 2026 World Cup build up. All of these things help build some demand, so we'll end up with more users in the Discord. Maybe not double-digit growth or triple-digit growth, but it should be close to at least 10% growth, I would assume there. I think it's just a great year to be a collector again. And while we may not see these mega sales, we'll see some really core base things happening in the space that are really important. Regrading the Messi sticker, grading more sets. I'd be a little nervous if I was overextended in vaults just because of my potential price exposure there. But cleaning up the hobby, getting fakes, getting slab corrections all out there in an environment where we're having, that is really favorable to collectors, makes me personally super excited for 2024. I hope it makes you excited for 2024 as well. And if you could, please like this video. It keeps me really excited to do more content for you guys. And I'd love to hear your comments about what you think I got right, what you think I got wrong. Of course, time will tell. Nobody's got a crystal ball, but really looking forward to 2024. I hope you are as well. Stay safe. Thank you for watching. And, always tune in to see what's happening in the El Rey collection. Thanks, everybody.